The next segment that I'm going to do is on a woman I absolutely cannot stand. I can't stand to look at her. I can't stand to listen to her. She's a representative from Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn. This woman is a Tea Partier, for those of you that know what a Tea Partier is. She is totally disrespectful to the president. There's nothing that he can do other than leave this world that she would probably agree with. And she's drunk the Trump Kool-Aid. Now, I'm going to give it to Tamron Hall on this one because Tamron Hall basically questions her regarding getting behind Donald Trump, but then also stating that she has to get to know him, etc., etc., etc. This is a bunch of crap. She's jumping on the bandwagon here, and in her hopes, I guess, that she's going to be one of the finalists for the VP spot that Trump is looking to fill. And honestly, there's not a lot of people that want to be considered for that spot. Now, just so that you know, Mrs. Blackburn basically has run unopposed in her district. She's a member of the House of Representatives for 2 out of the 3 elections that she's been victorious in. So that just tells me that her particular district is so basically locked up for Republicans that the Democrats don't even attempt to run against her. Anyway, here is the exchange between Tamron Hall and Marsha Blackburn.
Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee. She joins us now. Thank you so much for your time.
Sure, good to be with you.
I think expectations can be viewed in many ways here. You do have, as Hallie Jackson pointed out, a joint statement from Speaker Ryan and the presumptive nominee, Donald Trump. But this note points out that they will have additional meetings.
Sure.
It does not end with Speaker Ryan saying that he will endorse or support Donald Trump. How do you feel about that?
I think it's pretty much what we expected. Today was a day about process, how to move forward so that we get everybody unified and on the same page and working toward an agenda. And Tamron, I've got to tell you, I think this is an incredibly exciting time. Voters have spoken. We need to be listening to them. People look at Donald Trump and they have seen him listen. They've responded. They want something done in D.C. about the issues important to them: national security, jobs and economic security, and for women, retirement security.
So you mentioned jobs and economic security. Donald Trump says he would be open to a minimum wage increase. Do you support that?
I don't. I think this is something you look at the states and let the states handle this. It's better handled that way. I think the other thing to interject into this, Tamron, I think you and I maybe talked about this one time, is having a training wage. When you talk to moms that have teenagers in their household, this is something that they will bring up, that there needs to be that entry or that training wage. So all of these policies are going to evolve as we go through. You're going to see an agenda. I think the fall campaign is going to be one of the most exciting that we have ever had.
We are getting some new video in, Congresswoman, of Paul Ryan leaving the meeting. I want to go back to, again, this advancement of the conservative agenda that Speaker Ryan referred to in this statement. Donald Trump says that he would not touch entitlements, that he would not touch Social Security. Do you support that idea?
Well, what you hear from people there, I think you go back and you say, what did someone say or what did people hear? Here is what people tell us they want to be sure of, is that we stabilize Medicare and Social Security. They are trust funds, and people are sick of this money running into the general fund, and then they're just being IOUs. They want to make certain the money that the government has taken from them, that they have the opportunity to get that money back.
Is that what Donald Trump is saying? Because that is not how he describes it.
I'm sorry, I lost you there for a second.
Okay, but you are saying what people say. I'm specifically asking about what Donald Trump has said regarding entitlements.
Well, and I have heard the statement that he made that he wouldn't affect those. I think what you're seeing is that that individuals who are currently utilizing Medicare and Social Security and individuals who are near to that process would not see that effect. Now, I think when it comes to mandatory spending, and here we get in
but can you
utilization of different words.
You said you don't agree with Donald Trump regarding an increase in minimum wage. So you haven't talked about it.
I haven't talked to him about it. I haven't had a conversation with him.
Donald Trump said this week that he would be in favor of increasing taxes on the wealthiest. Do you support at least the initial proposal idea floated out there?
Well, I haven't looked at his tax plan. I do know that he has great people like Art Laffer helping work toward how we get America back on the road to prosperity, to use Speaker Ryan's term. And they're going to come forward with some things. I don't think anybody needs to be paying more tax. You can talk to anybody around and they will tell you we are not undertaxed. We are overtaxed, and the federal government is overspent by trillions of dollars. We've got $19 trillion.
So why do you believe Donald Trump would at least be entertaining the idea of increasing taxes on the wealthiest?
I think his comment there was that he was talking about the proposal that he had put forward that would actually reduce taxes on higher income earners, but it would not be as low as what he had initially come forward with. He was open to negotiation there. But there again, I've not had a conversation with Mr. Trump, so I can only tell you what I hear from my constituents and what people are telling me they want to see done. And I think that's the important thing right now. We're not going to have these debates about what the policy or the platform or the 10 points we're going to campaign on. We're not going to hold those in the public arena. Those are things that members of the House and the Senate and the presidential campaign are going to work out. What we all need to do is listen to what the voters are saying, and the voters are saying we need to tighten up on our national security. We need to make jobs and economic security a priority. And when it comes to retirement security, people need to know that the money the federal government has been taking out of their paychecks for Medicare and Social Security is going to be there.
All right, now this woman, she has not read any of Donald Trump's, I guess you want to call them policy positions at all. She's, I guess, going based on the crap that she sees on TV, and you would think, being a person in the Congress and a supporter of Trump, that she would make herself pretty aware of exactly where he stands on the majority of these issues. But she said twice now that she hasn't read his positions and she hasn't spoken to him. So then how the hell does she know exactly where he's coming from? And again, he's flip-flopped just in the last 24 to 48 hours twice, both on minimum wage and on the Muslim ban. So take it for what it's worth. Now, this is where Tamron and Miss Blackburn basically start talking over each other, and it's going to get a little catty here for a minute.
Not going to have to worry about.
Let me ask you something. Donald Trump has said that what we've seen from his millions of voters and votes that was a movement, that this was a groundswell. So you agree with that, which makes me curious why at this stage in the game you don't know a lot about Donald Trump. You're saying that you need to talk to him. You're trying to get to know him better. The voters in your party that you keep referring to seem to believe they know enough that they went into the ballot to vote. They backed him. So I'm wondering about the curiosity. There seems to have not been a curiosity about the person who has been leading in the votes for a very long time. Donald Trump did not happen overnight. So you have yourself and Speaker Ryan all saying you're trying to get to know him now. Why were you not curious about some of the things he was saying before? Why the curiosity
I've known
now?
Mr. Trump for several years. I think that what you're asking for is pin down a specific policy. And I'm saying, let's give the House leadership. There are a lot of folks up here that don't know Mr. Trump as well as I have gotten to know Mr. Trump. I think he is going to be the next president of the United States, and he is going to be an incredible
You're saying they don't know him as well as you know him, but a few minutes ago you said you still need to get to know him and sit down and talk to him. Which is it? You either are familiar with his
that is
policies
not
and
what
where
I
he
said,
stands.
and you know that. I said, let's give he and Speaker Ryan, they've had a good statement. They are going to develop these policies. It is going to be a great campaign in the fall. Mr. Trump has wonderful people working with him, and they are working very quickly. Bear in mind, he has not been in the halls of Congress. He has been out running companies. And this
He's
is
been
what
on the
people
campaign
want to
trail
see.
for
He
months,
is-
speaking to
and
your
I have
base.
said, and I've told you, we're going to have an outsider campaign year. People are looking for outsiders because they're sick of things not being done in Washington, D.C., and they want those things done. Let's give them time to bring forward what their platforms are going
But
to
it
be.
sounds like the things.
Okay, but anyway, getting back at the very beginning of this interaction, Ms. Blackburn did say that she didn't know what Trump's platforms were, and that she hadn't spoken to him. Now, at this point, she says she knows him very well, and now she wants the other people to know him as well as she does. So Tamron Hall was right. This chick just backtracked on what she initially said.
Brought
Give the
forward are
RNC
not things that
time
Paul
to put
Ryan wants to
forward.
see for your party. Can we establish that the things that Donald Trump has proposed, and you can call them a
I'm
few of
losing
them.
you again. I am just so sorry.
Speaker, okay, she can't
This
hear.
is
Her
not
earpiece
saying-
fell out.
I caught part of what you were saying.
That's okay. You know,
Yeah.
we're going to go on, but I really appreciate you spending the time to talk
Sure,
with us, and we'll have
absolutely.
you back because we've got some new information.
Yeah, so Marsha Blackburn, I don't know if it was on purpose, but she kept losing that earpiece. Most people, when they have a problem with them, and in her case, she could have just held it in because her hair would have covered her hand. But Marsha Blackburn is just, I shake my head. She's a Republican, originally from Mississippi, now up in Tennessee, doing her thing in a strictly hardcore Republican district.